Hello, since people seem to be interested in my love of Panzer Dragoon, I thought I would share my thoughts on another game series that, while isn't a horror game at all, I thought they did plenty of things really well, and I'm sort of in love with the franchise. So without further ado, I present Golden Axe. I am, besides being the world's largest Panzer Dragoon fan, I'm also the world's biggest Golden Axe fan. And the thing about Golden Axe is, well, I went to a lot of arcades as a kid. They were fun. I mean, this was back when the arcade had the cutting edge technology that you just couldn't get at home. So going to the arcades was always a really cool experience. And while there's a lot of arcade beat-em-ups that are great, my favorite is, well, technically Golden Axe, the Return of Death Adler. Yeah, or Revenge of Death Adler? I think Return. Anyway, that's my favorite arcade game ever, and it's really amazing, and the first one, of course. When I played them, I was young, and so, I mean, certainly they're not as amazing by today's standards, but I just really got lost in the world, which I think, as I was saying in Panzer Dragoon, is really, well, about Panzer Dragoon, I think that's really important for creating a game, is you want to create a world that the player can get lost in. And there's so many sort of little touches, whether it's, sort of the map scene and explaining where in the world the characters are moving in Golden Axe, or my personal favorites were the levels that took place like on a giant turtle or a giant bird. Just the idea, and I mean, obviously they don't really look like they're taking place on a giant bird. It's basically the, more or less similar to the regular game graphics, but just the idea of moving and going about the world in such a sort of unique manner, and something that we couldn't do in our regular lives. I certainly have never ridden a giant turtle or bird. And I think it's touches like that, or the little dwarf guys that come around and steal your stuff, or even just the people you have to free, I think is a really interesting idea. In most beat 'em ups, you're saving people, saving the world, but you don't actually sort of interact with them. And obviously this is, these are very old games, and so it's not like there's a whole, scene where they thank you and whatnot. But just the idea is that they added that level of interactivity. You pull the cable or whatever and release the people from their jail cells, and I think it's really it's a really cool way to create more of a world. And I think as a game developer, thinking about how you can create a world that lives on after you turn off your console or arcade machine or whatever, I think Philip K. Dick wrote I guess it's a sort of a non-fiction piece about how to make a world that doesn't fall apart. I can't remember the exact title, but it's really interesting. And I mean, I think there's a lot of things where like they really try to create a world, like Disneyland or Disney World is I guess you can't, everyone who works there appears in some form of uniform or costume or whatever, and I don't know, I'm not like a super big Disney fan, but it's my understanding that they have a lot of rules and a lot of ideas about the way things should work there, just so you can sort of escape into these different places. So yeah, I think I love the Golden Axe series. It's a shame, I guess. The Golden Axe series consists of the original Golden Axe and Golden Axe, The Revenge of Death Adder, Return of Death Adder, which are both arcade machines. And then they had Genesis versions of Golden Axe 1. There's also a Turbo Graphics 16 version, I think, of Golden Axe 1, and it's on Xbox Live Arcade. The Death Adder was never released. Then they had they had some Genesis sequels to the first that weren't like the arcade games that I felt were pretty underwhelming. You can get those on like Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection, I think. Then on Saturn, which I'm a big Sega Saturn fan, there's Golden Axe The Duel, which is an interesting sort of Street Fighter style game that I had a lot of fun playing. And then finally, there's Golden Axe Beast Rider for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, which I would strongly recommend against playing. It was a disappointment, I think, to every Golden Axe fan out there. So, thanks for watching.